How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was in market conditions where you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Why can't you never trust an Adam story? Because it makes up everything. Not too bad. Wanted to throw a scientific joke for you guys. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, which ended up having a green day inside of the market. I know many were excited about that. It's showing continued strength, but we'll talk about it even further, so I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. And what do we expect from OCGN going into Friday? And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. Does it continue to have short squeeze potential? What is the overall market sentiment for OCGN stock? We're going to figure that all out. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution, where institutions loading up on shares today. We've been dealing with some choppy markets, so it'll be very interesting to see, hey, if institutions have been buying shares. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details as well. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.36, being up 3.52%. On the low, it tested $7, and then on the high, testing $7.15. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 6.886 million shares, and for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 6.047 million shares. Now, the chart we're using is the 1-year daily chart. When we take a look at the RSI down below, you can see it's right around 50.53. When we take a look at our moving averages here, we continue to have strength above the 200-day. We are below the 100-day, but we did end up finishing below the 21-day EMA, but we are sitting right on that 50-day, being at $7.31, and we ended up closing the day at $7.36. So it'll be great to see a move up going into tomorrow, sitting above the 21-day EMA at $7.41. We already know Friday is definitely going to be a choppy day, so if we can close at the 21-day, hey, I feel that's a really best case scenario there. But one thing we could see as far as for the overall trading is concerned for OCGN, we could sum it up with one word: consistency. So we talked about, hey, we wanted to see if it does decide to pull back. We want to see some strength off of this $7 level, and we ended up testing $7 on the day and ended up bouncing right off of it. As far as for the high of the day, we got to $7.57, and this was an area that we also revisited not too long ago this week as well. So just taking that into consideration, I would love for us to be able, going into tomorrow, getting above this particular resistance at $7.57 and then getting to around the $7.60 or the $7.70s. That would be great. Of course, I am looking forward to seeing $8. You guys have heard me talk about this quite a while, but I'm not going to be expecting that for tomorrow. But as far as for next week is concerned, since we should be getting some sort of an update, I'll be looking forward to actually seeing that. So I just want to see us continue to hold up this $7 level by the end of tomorrow. And then on top of that, if we end up finishing above the 21-day EMA, that would be great. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.2 million, updated 20 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.83%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 3rd, which was last week Friday, it was at 63%. We could also see for September the 7th, the close was 56.74. And then for the close of yesterday, it was at 58%. 0.48. So it is trending upwards. So one thing that does tell us OCGN continues to have short squeeze potential, but there's also going to be a lot of volatility when it comes to this overall play. And like I was saying in previous videos, shorts are definitely making sure that they're vested in this play for the reasons of, hey, if things don't go according to plan in regards to the WHO approval and what investors are actually looking for, there could be some downside inside of the stock, and that's where they're seeing those opportunities. But one thing I do believe, though, as far as going into next week, I just can't wait for us to get an update. And even if we don't get an update, unfortunately, we're gonna have to continue to be patient. But for the most part, we do see, as far as sentiment is concerned, it is not the greatest, but I'm still bullish regardless. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we could see here on the inflow is at 10,246, and then on the outflow it was at 8,798. As far as how the breakdown looks, we had 0 on the large for both. On the medium, we had 6,442, and then on the small, we had 3,805. When we take a look at the outflow side on the medium, it was at 5,053 for the medium side, and then on the small, it was 3,745. So you can see we ended up having an inflow day and beating it out, having surpluses in the medium category and as well as in the small category. Now, when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we have zeros down the board. So institutions are not loading up with large scale orders whatsoever. But we can still see at the fact that, hey, they could be loading up with medium sized orders. And that's one thing that we have to continue to keep an eye on, which is why I do this on the channel. We do know that they ended up having an investment conference today. So I wouldn't be surprised if institutions said, you know what, let me pick up some shares. It sounds like they're very confident. We know Shankar did a pretty good job in regards to when he was handling questions, and he did a pretty good job explaining and giving updates in regards to how things are going on the operation side as far as for the launch of covaxin and so on. I had a chance to actually check it out and also went on Reddit, and it seems like, you know what, investors, shareholders that I've seen so far are happy with the news. As far as institutions are concerned, I feel it's just great because it does give them a bit more exposure, especially since, hey, the interview actually went pretty good. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, it was great to see it hold down that $7 level. It actually ended up testing it as support. We showed some strength and were able to rebound right off of it. The reason why this is important, we have been dealing with some very choppy markets, and due to the fact that we're seeing this strength gives a lot of confidence for shareholders or anyone who's inside of this play. Also, when we went on Fintel, we could see as far as for the short interest, it is fairly high when seeing the short volume ratio being well over 50%. So what this means is if we end up having a strong catalyst that comes through this stock, we could look forward to seeing some very strong moves to the overall upside. But another thing is there is a lot of negative sentiment in the sense of, hey, there are many that want to see the stock pull back and see the price go down, and they're putting heavy bets on that. But of course, if you've been in this play long enough, you know it's going to be coming with a lot of volatility, and you're going to be riding up and down on this roller coaster. It's crazy the amount of messages that I get. They'll be like, yo, OCGN, what's going on? Why are things so volatile? And I'm like, hey, we got to look at the market as a whole. Also, when we take a look at the biotech sector as itself, it did fairly well. So OCGN was able to benefit from this. Another stock that we talk about on this channel is as well as Senseonics. They ended up having a green day, and also Moderna ended up crushing it overall on the day as well. So due to the fact of all of those particular factors, it was no surprise seeing OCGN seeing some movement, and then on top of that, having Shank hold it down inside that investor conference as well. And this is the part of the reasons why when you're in a particular play, you need to have high conviction, especially when the markets are really volatile. When the price of the stock is pulling back on you, you can look at this as an opportunity, whether you want to average down or get into a position. This is why I emphasize doing your homework and doing your due diligence, so when this opportunity does arise, you'll be able to make the right decision that is tailor-made for you. you. Do not just go out there blindly buying stocks. I want to make sure I really emphasize, because I get some crazy messages saying, hey, well, I bought the stock because I heard it from here and there. No, that's not the way to go about doing things. What you want to do when you watch these particular type of YouTube videos is to get ideas and start doing your homework and start digging further, and then say, okay, you know what, this might be the play for me, or you know what, nah, this is not the play for me, and so forth. That is the best way to go about it. And I just want to make sure that I'm informing you guys so you can actually become better traders and as well as investors inside of the stock market. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.